Hey there, girlfriend. Ingafay here. Super excited to be with you all today. For those that don't know, this is November. November is Movember. Do you know what Movember is? Movember is all about not shaving. So we're going to talk to a couple of guys that don't shave, that have very nice beards, and they're going to tell us all about how to take care of them. So we want you to get the inside scoop on this, and I'm going to share with you my friend Brian. So I'll give you the inside scoop on Brian, and we'll see you inside. What's up, Brian?
What's up? Listen, I was just backstage hanging out with the group back here. I appreciate you taking care of my rider. Only the yellow and green M&Ms. Don't throw any of those brown ones in there. I appreciate you separating piece by piece.
You are so crazy.
Imagine being backstage, being that kind of person. Here's a quick story before we dive into this.
Okay.
I went to this concert once, about 11 years ago. It was a throwback concert with Coolio, Naughty by Nature, Tone Loc. It was amazing, but some of their riders were crazy. Like, I don't even know if I could share it. I might have signed an NDA. I don't know, but here it is. Coolio wanted flip-flops and water guns in his dressing room. That was part of the rider. For folks that know what a rider is, it means that usually when you book talent, they like certain things. Like rumor has it, Mariah Carey only likes yellow M&Ms. And just different things, whether it's alcohol or a fluff pillow or mint chocolates. But yeah, water guns and flip-flops. That was what Coolio wanted in his rider.
Wow. Right. Well, as you guys can see, Brian is loads of fun, and what we're going to do today is talk beard talk with Brian. So he's going to give us the 411. He's already kind of given you an introduction of him and his personality, which is so cool, because that's why I had to have him on, because he's just that dude, right? All right, but before we get into the beard talk with Brian, tell us a little bit more about you, what you do, who you serve, and how you serve them.
So picture it, 1977, steamy, long, rainy night. My mother's in labor. No, we won't go on there. No, long story short, listen, it's super simple. I'm the person for the people, right? At the end of the day, I coach, I motivate, I inspire, I guide, I hold, I push, I pull, whatever we need to do to get that small business owner to be top of mind and to be relevant in their industry. So that's what I get to do on a daily basis, which doesn't really seem like a whole lot of work.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk the beard talk, okay? We're going to talk all about the beard. And you didn't give them like the 411 about how you like to build relationships and that you are a military.
Listen, you could go to my website and you can get all of that. Today's talk is about what we do with this.
What we do with this. Okay, so my first question is, tell me, how long have you had your beard?
So typically speaking, that's a great question. Typically speaking, I have always fairly been short shaven. Okay. Short shaven meaning if I take this away, you're gonna have this. There'll be a form there, which is another form of a beard.
Right.
And 2018, when I started going through my weight loss journey, I'm like, I don't want to shave. So I let it grow and grow and grow. And at one point, it grew where I looked Amish. Amish being it was a straight down beard. There was no curve. As you'll see here, there's got some curve to it, some roundage to it, just depending on how you form the beard. Again, if it's coming straight down, you're going to box yourself out. Depending on your face structure, that could be complementary or it could not be, right? I'm a firm believer that this right here is the same thing that women use like foundation or their makeup, right? It's contour, it shapes our face, it hides things that maybe we don't want to be seen. Beards are great in that aspect. So to answer your question, 2018, I had it till about right down to here. And then I was in a relationship and they're like, oh, I wonder what you would look like with no beard. And I'm like, okay. And I was clean shaven for the first time in multiple years. And then the last 2 years, I've just been, as I said, fairly close. And then in April, I'm like, I want to try this again. So I grew out the beard. And then I was like, oh, I want to see what a goatee looks like. So I shaved everything off roughly right at the end of September. So this right here, minus this, is roughly about a month and a half old. And when you see me come December 1st, it'll look really messy and probably I'll look like a homeless person.
So what's going on? Are you doing that for Movember? Is that
I am. It's about
Okay.
bringing awareness
Okay.
to men's health, right?
Right.
To cancer. And it's not just men prostate cancer, it's LLS, right? Lymph node and
Yes.
leukemia. Cancer as a whole. It's kind of like when you go to McDonald's and you can have French fries or burgers or chicken. Cancer has no anger toward anything. It will attach to everything. So just some conversation to be started.
Awesome. So is that why you started to have a beard? Was it for the Movember?
No, it wasn't.
Movement or-
Again, just something different. In all transparency, I like the way I look when I have a beard.
Okay.
And I think that adds a different type of structure, just like with the hair, right? Whether or not you shave it or you keep it long or you keep it short, it's something that I can play with. I can put it in a little ponytail. I can do two little tails. I can color it. You know, when it was that length, I had it different colors. For like
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. For Christmas, I had it the red and the green, and I had little jingle bells that I would put on it as well and decorate it. Be fun. I became the guy with the beard, which is why during COVID, it was so nice because you wore a mask, so no one would recognize me, so I didn't have to get dressed up to go to Walmart anymore. People didn't know who I was, right? Because now I was not the guy with the beard. So
That is so cool. That is go. And you know, when you said it like that, we have a local guy here that's like his trait. That's like his brand.
that's their
He
thing,
said-
right?
yeah, he sells cars, and he said, "Come see the man with the beard." He
Yeah.
says that all the time. all the
Absolutely.
time.
And mine was just at that length that it was long enough to see something. And, you know, I'm one to really keep it tapered, right? And
Mhm.
making sure that it's looking sharp because very quickly it could go the other way.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then you're like, oh, here's $1. You're standing on the corner. Do you need a cheeseburger? Especially in the early stages. So I am not afraid to announce this, ladies and gentlemen. This is like top secret, Inga. Are you ready for this?
Yes,
This
I am.
news? Okay.
Good.
I'm 45 years old. I color my beard. I know.
What?
Drop the mic, right?
Drop
So
the
I'm
mic.
very, as you can tell, my sides, I'm very salt and pepper, right?
Yeah.
And in the early stages of my beard growth,
Mhm.
it's very salt and pepper, well, really more salt than pepper. So when I get on camera, sometimes I will have just blotches, right? Where I have, it
Oh.
looks like I have no hair because it's white.
'Cause it's-
So I will color my beard. Now, especially when you have the early stages and you're growing, right? And because I have two
Mhm.
lengths, I have totally two lengths right now because of my craziness of shaving it off prior. It can look very disproportionate, right? Like a roller coaster just stopping. So because I can color it and I still don't color it completely, I more highlight it so it
Right.
blends together, right? But because it grows at different lengths, I will have these little flyaways all over. And if those flyaways are white or silver, now you have them all throughout your beard, right?
Right.
And that's a great way, again, to keep it tapered, making it look sharp, making it look presentable. It's no different than a haircut that needs to be cut every 6 weeks because the style changes. Now it becomes too heavy, and that curl is no longer like it was by week 3, right? Makes sense?
Yeah, makes total sense. And that's what I was going to ask you. How often do you trim it? So you say about 6 to 8 weeks?
No. So in your early stages, you don't want to touch your beard for at least 3 months when you first start growing.
Wow.
Okay, I break the rules all the time because I go rogue, right? But the reason why that is because you want it to be able to grow naturally, right?
Mhm.
And then you want to be able to form it, okay? You know, typically when you form it, as you can see, I'm doing like the side eye right now. When you form it, you want to hit against your jawline, right? And a lot of folks, when they make the mistake of shaving, they will shave to their chin, right? So
Right.
then this becomes, let me see, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So imagine none of that here, right? And then it just stopping right now. Now, for a heavy set guy, it's really unflattering, right? Because it cover doesn't camouflage, it doesn't maneuver around. So to be able to have that cut is super important in me doing that. Now, I say that with the fact that my beard is not properly cut as a beard because I am trying to grow it back out, which is why where you see where I kind of actually added more.
Yeah.
So this ends right here, but I still have growth right here. So I dropped that down a little bit so I can start getting growth because what I want is for it to push out. So then it becomes a 1 versus a hanger. Does that make sense?
Ah, yes, it does. And you've given us like the anatomy of the beard.
Right.
You know, who knew, who knew?
It's free information, guys. Okay.
Okay, so now we got to get down to the nitty gritty. It sounds like so far so good. You're loving your beard. Sounds like you've been really able to accentuate your God-given positives with your beard, and you're being able to do you, as I like to say, do you boo, really to show your personality and your style with your beard based on what you just shared.
It's an accessory. Your beard is like the rings that you throw on, your earrings. Women have the luxury of being able to change up the hairstyle, right? Yep. One moment you're going to see them in a bun. Tomorrow they're going to have a pony. The next day it might be braids. Guys don't have that luxury, right? So we divvy it up with our facial hair. Right. Maybe it's a mustache, right? Maybe it's a beard. Maybe it's a goatee. Yep. Maybe it's your handlebars, right? And a whole new element, and it changes the way your look is completely. Again, now I have no product on to keep these. I usually throw a product on, but now here I am, right? As this one falls down. Actually, that one fell down. So you could change your whole look up depending on what you want and how you want to do it.
Right. Completely. That's awesome.
Now I got hair in my mouth.
Okay. So yeah, now let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about some of the struggles, because we all know the struggle is real when it comes to having a beard on a regular basis. What are some of the things that I knew? One thing you were telling me about was the eating thing. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I'm now officially at that length level, right? That food isn't always a benefit, right? Food like soups,
right?
Ice cream, things that aren't going to be a solid, they're going to be more drippable, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Guess where they land?
On the beard.
Right here, right? It's always like a white sauce, or mayonnaise, right? Or ketchup. That's right. I don't even know what's there until hopefully someone is kind enough to say, hey, take
You don't feel it?
I don't feel, because if it stands right here, I mean, unless it's heavy and I can feel that piece, but because it's weightless almost. So yeah, that's very annoying. So I have to be cautious when I eat. Now, when my beard was longer, I would ponytail it a lot when I would eat, right? So now I throw in a ponytail and I can eat, and it's okay, and then I'll undo it and then fix it up and go that route.
Sounds like a woman putting her hair up in a ponytail and rolling.
The upkeep that it takes to keep it to this level, I would probably say 30 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because listen, so here's my morning ritual, right?
Okay, so give us the 411.
Yeah, I mean, listen, my beard's like this in the morning, right?
Right, exactly.
There I am, can I help you? See, I look homeless, like you want to give me $1, right? So what I got to do, obviously is, there we go, sorry. You got to make sure that you moisturize, right? So we have what we call a beard oil, and that's going to get to your skin, because the longer your hair is, the farther away the oil is to your skin.
Exactly.
Okay. So with that being said, I've got to put oil all the way down to my skin versus all the way over here. So I take that and I massage it in, right? I get all my skin, especially up in here if I'm wearing it. So now I'm moisturized.
Okay, so I got a question. So when you moisturize, do you make parts to really make sure you hit your skin?
That's a great question. So this is what I do. So I have a bottle. I buy bulk. So I have this nice 5-ounce bottle with a droplet. So depending on how many drops you have, right? Typically speaking, I do two sets of 2. So I will first take my 1, 2, rub it in my hand, and then I do one of these numbers.
So you're massaging it, right?
Right. Goes all over. And then I take my squirt and I take a squirt here, right in this area, and I take a squirt right in this area, because those are my 2 weak areas that tend to get dry the most. So I'll actually squirt 4 drops, which would equal 2 regular. So into that skin. And then I go back and I moisturize right there. I then have a comb, a beard comb. It's 2-sided, thinner and really thin, depending on how I want to get those. And then I take that and I will brush it up, do a little scraping if I need to for any excess skin that might fall off, right?
Right.
And then I go ahead and I brush it all down. At that point, now you're moisturized. But right now, Inga, you don't want it to escape, right? So you gotta lock it in. We use what we call a beard butter, okay? So I then take the beard butter in my hand, scrape it in, and now again do the same thing. Now this beard butter is physically going to the hair. So the beard oil goes to the skin, the beard butter goes to the hair.
To the hair, yep.
Yeah, so that's going to lock in the moisture that has been received from the oil. At that point, I then take my beard brush, and now I'll brush my beard with that in there and form it accordingly. I move it around depending on, do I want it to go thicker today? Do I want it thinner? I mean, this particular beard, it's a PG-13 show. Just saying, okay? It's a PG-13. I just want to try to show you the conflict, so don't get too excited. If you have a shirt underneath, okay? That's that kind of show. But I will separate, right? I'll form it. I can go pretty big if I want to spread it out, especially if I'm full on beard, right? So now it's a little bit more spread, or I can actually, again, go a little thinner with it, right? If I want to put my mustache up, I will usually separate my mustache, and now I have a beard wax, mustache wax. Right. Just as it sounds, it's a wax. It's very sticky.
So it can hold it in place.
Yep. And then I will usually twist, and then I will wear those there. A lot of times I might have this as white and then my beard as a darker to separate the two. Again, you can see how that cusp is, or I can move it down. Now, I also have a beard straightener. Okay. Beard straightener, again, I'm now applying heat and I'm straightening my beard. Now, usually if I straighten it, I usually do the corners so it kind of fluffs up and turns. Almost like an opposite 1950s hairstyle of Peggy Sue Got Married. Okay?
So like a bob.
Yeah, like I bob it backwards.
Exactly.
Okay? It's a backwards bob.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it just depends on how I want to form it that day. And again, if I want it thicker, if I want it a little thinner, if I want it to be able to be more profile, so you can kind of see that length that comes down, different structures of the beard are going to do different things. Now, because I've oiled it and I have beard buttered it, the textures are going to change. So it's going to
it's going to be a whole lot softer. It's going to be more.
It also relaxes, so it's not going to be so kinky, right?
Exactly.
It's going to be so tight. Now I'm getting a little bit more length on it, which is going to look different than when you first come out of the wash. Because when you first come out of the wash, which, listen, there's also a beard wash. You don't want to wash your beard with the same shampoo that you use for your hair.
Your hair. Now tell us a little bit about that.
Same concept. You have a wash, a shampoo, or a conditioner, or a combo. The things with the washes, the butters, or the oils is going to be the effect of scents. So you can have practically smelling like a pina colada, which is probably one of my favorites. I like a coconut, fruity. So there's lots of different companies out there that service these particular products, right?
Right.
And with them, they have their own signature pieces. And there's companies that have 10 to 15 different scents. Everything from a Western that might smell a little bit more softer, right? To maybe they like more of a pine smell versus a coconut smell. Because you can imagine two totally different senses that are being set off. My son does not like some of the senses that I like. For example, more of like a wilderness, more minty. Mm-hmm. I like that as well, where I can't wear that when I am with him. And not only do we have to worry about that, but then we got to worry about our clones, right? Yeah. So if I throw on a CK1, is that going to complement with my beard that smells like pineapple?
Right.
Right. So it's hard being a guy too. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I didn't know. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know you guys did all that. I mean, it sounds like it's and you do this every morning. This is like a ritual. But I'm just really surprised by some of the things that you're saying, because I know when I was talking to my hairstylist, she was talking about some of the same things, this process that you're talking about that she does for hair. And it's called, I don't know if you're familiar with this, it's called the lock method. And the lock method stands for liquid, oil, and cream, which is basically what you described when you were talking about the moisture. I guess your hair would probably already be wet because you had to wash it before you actually moisturized it.
Correct.
So that part,
you would use the wash.
You would use the wash first,
and then you would use your oil. That's going to moisturize.
So that's the oil. So that's exactly what you just said. It's the lock. So it's the moisture. Then you followed it up with the oil, and then you're sealing it with the butter or the cream to bring it all together. So it's the lock method, 100%. But you're doing it for your beard instead of most people just doing it for their hair.
Yeah. I mean, the butter acts as somewhat of a gel. You can form it a little bit better, right? The wax is definitely that gel. That's what's going to lock that in and be able to maneuver it or twist it or whatever you want to hang from it, But yeah, to be able to form that. And then again, talking about the camouflage, right? For me, I have a very oval face, right?
Yeah.
So if I go and do the squared beard, meaning everything comes down at one length.
Yep.
So now I'm squared. That's where I get that Amish look, right?
Right.
Versus a little bit more curvage on the sides. Or, maybe it's even, again, taking out those pieces. Now that's changed it, right?
Right, exactly.
So it just depends on what kind of flow you want to have. Folks that might have a busted lip, right, when they were a kid. Maybe they have a scar. They don't want to see it. Well, now with a beard, you don't see that.
Right.
So now you have a little more confidence, right? Because you don't have a scar.
Yes. So let me ask you this. I'm just curious. Now, when it comes to trimming your beard, do you do it yourself or do you go to the barber?
Great question. It depends on a couple of different things. One, do I really want to spend the money on doing that when I can do it myself? Right?
Okay.
Number two, Brian, spend the money. You're not a beautician. just spend the $13.
You're paying for that value. Exactly.
Right. Spend the $13 because what happens is you screw it up.
Yeah.
And then you're
you
like,
have to go anyway.
I have a goatee. Like you have this amazing beard and now you have that. You're like, oh, what do I do with that? Right? Spend the money, right? Now, you don't, again, because you don't have to trim it constantly. In the early stages, go there, let them form it because they're seeing a different angle of you. They're able to maneuver things around where you may not have that flexibility. Now, I will say, if you're really, especially in the early stages, and you know, hey, I just want to keep it at this specific length, there's so many different guards that you could then trim it up and do it yourself.
Okay.
Personally, me, because I like to support small business, I go once a month and I have them just do a nice cleanup on me, a trim. I won't do it this month because I'm not getting anything cut, but they're going to be making some money come December 1st. Okay, let me tell you. Because I'll have the neck beard. I won't know where my chest hair and my neck hair ends. I mean, my eyebrows will probably be my new goatee.
Yeah.
But my mother told me the moment you start shaving, you're never going to be able to stop.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Just not
okay. So I'm curious, when you go and get your beard trim at the barber, does he then wash it and condition it and do all that kind of ritual you just mentioned?
So I go to a foo-foo place because
I go to
a foo-foo place. So I go for the experience because if I'm going to spend the $18, I want an experience.
Okay.
So to answer your question, yes, they wash me, nice hot towel that sits across my face, and sometimes I might get a little bit of a hand massage, never a pedi because I bite my nails. But, I get pampered a little bit, right? And it's a moment. It's what are we doing? How do we talk? Listen, going to the barber or the hairdresser is not just about getting your hair did, right? It's about community. It's about conversation. And just like with gaming right now, gaming for kids isn't about sitting and playing games. That's how they socialize. Back in my day, in the 1900s, we hung out in the rooms and listened to music. Back in my dad's day, they rode bikes. My generation was not going to ride no bike. We were too busy listening to Nirvana and, Expose and so forth. So it's just a different generation. And I think that hairstyle, that boutique, that bar, whatever it is, even at a barbershop, there's still an experience, right? There's a conversation of the barber that's been there for 45 years that has got Bob's hair, Bob's son's hair, and Bob's grandson's hair.
Right.
So you go where you're comfortable, but I like foo-foo stuff. So if I get to smell good and get nice young single ladies being able to massage my face and my beard, I'm all about it.
Cool. All right. So this has been so interesting. I didn't know you were going to break it down like this, but this is cool. So I wanted to ask you, I'm sure there may be some women out there watching for their husbands, or, maybe we got some guys that are actually watching us today. And maybe somebody is considering starting to grow a beard. What would be something that you would tell him to, I guess, kind of enlighten him and encourage him to go for it?
First off, do it, right? Commit to it. If you're going to grow a beard, grow a beard. So that means 3 months that you have to commit to this. So this is an all-in kind of event. Your wife or your partner has to be okay with you looking like a mess for a little bit. It's going to happen. So hopefully no black tie events, right?
Yeah.
Because like the hair on your head, it grows at different lengths. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have these little flyaways. I think we talked about why I color my beard to camouflage those pieces. So you have to have patience because you're just going to want to cut it. You don't want to touch your beard for at least the first 2 to 3 months. So it could begin to grow and find that pattern. Because you might find that you are slower grower on this side than you are this side, where you don't have as much that goes. Because what happens is you start cutting and then you're like, oh, I'm crooked and I don't know this. And then all of a sudden you no longer have a beard.
Right.
Patience. Have patience.
Cool. All right. Well, it's been great hanging out with you, Brian, giving us the 411 on, how to take care of the beard. You shared some things with me today that, I did not know before, and I do appreciate the wisdom and the guidance that you gave today. So thank you. And
I enjoy hanging out with you, Inga.
Yes. And you guys, I am all about do you boost. If you guys want to do the Movember thing and support men's health, fighting against cancers that affect men, let's do that. And then if you need the beard care to get you there, I'll have a couple of links down in the description below that will help you, guide you through the journey.
Wait, are you talking about your skincare that you use?
Yes.
Yes. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. I've used the product that is down below, or maybe it's up above. I don't know. Now, because of the scent aspect, I don't get to use it as much as I would like to because my son does not like that whole minty wilderness thing. But I will tell you, it feels fresh on the skin.
Awesome.
It's light, so it doesn't create a residue. And the cool thing is, especially if you utilize it, you'll get that glow, right? Where, especially in the lighting, depending on what it looks like. But it's really nice to touch. The young ladies will, and the old ladies will love. we don't discriminate. Young, older.
Yeah, exactly.
Will love the way it feels, right? Because at the end of the day, there's going to be some kissing, right? So you got to let's keep it open, let's keep it real, and you don't want that bristly touching and so forth. But remember, to keep it clean, you got to keep it back when you eat. Okay?
Right.
So when you start growing, you got to be able to figure out how you're going to keep it back from eating your ice cream, your chili when you're watching football, right? But definitely, I would check the links down below. Now, from what I remember, and I could be wrong, just do it. They don't have free samples of this yet, right? They've just come out with this product for the men's line. So there isn't that little sample that we could try. So just buy it. You're going to like it. You're going to use it, and you're going to buy it again. That's all I got.
Cool. Yes, and then just also know that we have satisfaction guarantee.
You're not going to need it.
Yeah,
it's
but we have that, and if for whatever reason,
I'm going to tell you. Listen. It's like buying toilet paper and wanting to take it back. You're going to use it. Why would you want to return the toilet paper? Did you buy too much toilet paper? Like, really? It didn't expire. So just use it.
Just use it.
Just use it.
What did you say? There's no try. Let's just do it.
Yeah,
just
like Yoda says, there is no try. Just do it. Right? It's minimal cost for luxurious. There's the word, I couldn't pronounce it at first. Luxurious experience, right?
Exactly. And then I even have a beard comb because I remember you talking about that. So
I love the beard comb. The single one I use when I scrape up and down to get any excess skin that is done before the beard oil goes on. So that way I'm applying and I'm not doing layer after layer after layer.
Okay, cool. Because I know you said it had two sides, and one is for
it's a wooden one, which is a nice one as well. So it's not like that plastic comb that you get when you're taking pictures in the 5th grade that everyone gets. We all know that comb, right?
You do.
So it's not pulling it out and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's a good comb. It's nice. It's easy. It's a good flow. It works really well, especially once you use the beard oil in the butters, because then it softs up on the comb and you're getting it in every
conditions it. Yep. Cool. Awesome. So he gave you guys the 411, and I didn't even have to ask him. So he gave it to you voluntarily. So, take his word for it. Check out the links below. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Bye, guys.